Howdy, ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast. This is episode 597. The Detroit Lions have no room for error. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am your dashing host, Chris, and with me is my good friend and managing editor, Jeff the Riz Risden. How you doing, big fella?
We haven't been together in so long, Chris. I've missed you. I've missed this.
Yes.
It's a glorious time.
Ages. It's been ages. Oh, man. We got a lot to talk about today, Rizzy.
Yeah, we do.
And we only got some time to do it. So 80 minutes is the key today, folks. Let's stick with us.
That's right. I have a hard stop tonight. I have a radio show booked, so I gotta be skedaddled.
And good news, I'm gonna stop hard. We got the quick Rams review that we have to do. We have what's going on around here.
It started already.
I know. The alternatives. Two odd alternatives to think about with the playoffs. Neither one is super exciting, but let's talk about it. Coaching moves. What do the Lions face? Expectations for the final 3 games. A look ahead to Pittsburgh and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Mr. Risden, are you ready to go, my man?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
Here we go. Beezer, I know I get the reference. I need a Lions win like I need a Zin in the butt.
We all need a Lions win.
Yeah.
More to the point, the Lions need a Lions win more than a lot of other things.
Yes, sir, they do. We got one here. Seems like, if anything, the hope should be this season was a slap in the face and a wake-up call for this entire organization. Everyone seems to be too complacent, like sheer talent will carry them. I don't know that you're super far off, Ryan.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Wish you were here,
Absolutely.
Man. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about it. There's a lot going on. We'll get into it first and foremost. We've talked about it a lot on the channel. You guys may notice we have a lot more content these days. We'll get into that in a second. But the Rams. Let's talk about this game, Riz. I started out the podcast before the post game show. This isn't why the Lions lost, okay? But the egregious officiating, the Panthers got the call to New York screwed things up letter. The Lions didn't even get that when they did the timeout one. They didn't get anything on this. This one was obviously a blown call. He wouldn't even have been down on the one if you asked me. The ball was on the ground. It was an incomplete pass. We know from Calvin Johnson that if it touches the ground at all, even if you set it down, it doesn't count, right? It's going to take a lot for me. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to pin it up. And I'm also going to say is if you hear them talking about the collective bargaining agreement for the refs coming up, and the refs want to make it no easier to replace them, no more accountability. No, this is a group of people, again, with the PI that they wouldn't even, when the owners and the competition community made that PI reviewable, and then they would never turn it over. This is a group that has far too much control over this game, and it's an obvious point for corruption. And they're doing nothing to eliminate the impression that it is a corrupt organization. Those are the officials at the very, very core.
It's just crazy that they haven't adopted the transparency of the UFL, old XFL model that our friend Dean Blandino modeled.
Yeah.
Because that worked. I think people appreciate it. And you could hear the ability to hear the conversations between the officials and hey, do you think he had control of this? Do you think he had both feet down? Did you see this? How did you see this? I think doing that and we know they're human. We know they're going to see things differently and make mistakes. That's okay.
Yep.
That's I think we'll be very forgiving of that, honestly. If well, that's not the way I saw it. Well, that's not what happened. Okay. And I think the officials honestly would feel better about that too. Okay, this is an area where I can get better, or why am I not seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing here? Mm-hmm. I think another thing that it would do, they ask so much of these officials. Just the list of assigned duties for every separate official on every play. And there is some overlap between them. But the staggering amount of rules and technicalities and minutia that all these guys have to look for on every play it's untenable.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why it's very difficult to do that job. And one of the reasons why people get burned out on it. One of the reasons why people aren't going into it, because it doesn't pay super well either. There are a lot of different ways that they could do to make it better and restore trust in more skeptical folks like yourself. That not everything is up on the level.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you you're wrong. I'd love to, but I can't.
Right, and that's the thing. There's no contravening evidence, right? And when New York gets it wrong, the people with all the reviews, and the thing that's really bothering me is how much technology. Like when we watched Barry Sanders years ago, and it was just the eyes in the field, just the guys in the stripes calling the games. There might be a missed call here or there, or something they screwed up, but it is not nearly. It was never as bad as it is today. Every week, there's multiple teams that get screwed by terrible calls, and now New York's involved, and they're getting it wrong, bro. There is nothing pointing to anything that this is real anymore, and it's crazy.
If you're going to delay the game for an official review, like the expedited review or whatever they call it, they better get that right. That would be nice.
Yeah. Woo! All right. Well, let's get into the Rams game. That's the thing that sticks out at me, and that's my big takeaway. I hate the refs being a point of conversation. I just wish they were like there and they did their job and it was consistent and regular and all that. But it's just a shit show, and I can't not at this point after that egregious catch. Did it cost us the loss? No. Did it change the game?
It did not.
Yeah. The game could have been different.
It changed the tenor of the game. It did.
They could have maybe been stopped, right? But maybe not. Awesome. We know the pass interference.
Defense was playing at that point, probably not. But
the pass interference that wasn't called in the defensive pass interference.
Oh, on J-Mo in the end zone. That one bothered me more than the catch, because that was so clearly.
Yeah.
Even if it's not pass interference, it's defensive holding. He's never not in contact.
It's terrible.
And the inconsistency with which they call things, they've got to look. And I will tell you, all 32 fan bases have this same complaint. This is not just a Lions thing. It's magnified because we tend to get them in prominent national games. But I would say Titans fans are aghast at some of the calls that have gone against their team.
Yeah.
They're awful. They're going to get the number one pick. That's just where we're at, man. They got to do better with it.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about football and not the corrupt officials. How about you? I hate that because I know you want to be an official, but I also know you have integrity. So whoever has you on the field should feel good that you're doing your damnedest.
Chris, as you know, just in case you don't know, once my kids are done playing sports, I will become a full-time official. I've already made that decision with my wife. We're gonna officiate volleyball together. It'll be our way of having a common activity. And I will also do basketball. I don't like being outside in the cold, and where I live in Michigan, it's cold, so I'm not going to officiate in the rain and the sleet like that. I did that when I lived in Ohio when I was in college. It was my college beer money job. I did it when I lived in Virginia for some time, but my body isn't up for that anymore. It's just not. So indoor sports are much more my thing, and basketball is, I'm around basketball all the time, so it's a natural one for me. And I want to do middle school where it's thankless, but you can actually have a little bit of influence on the kids. I will say though, from my own experience, middle school basketball parents are the worst level.
Middle school kids are the worst.
Much worse than football.
Middle school kids are the worst because the parents are making the transition to over-involved at the elementary school level to not involved at all at high school, and they don't know where do I move my hands? I'll just be loud.
Trust me, I taught seventh grade government for a couple of years. That was not something I would ever wish upon in my worst enemy.
I'll tell you, when the kids are all off of college, though, you got a great plan there. Going doing that with your wife. It's a blast.
That's the plan.
It's a blast being an empty nest and a little bit young.
And I will make more money doing that than I did in certain other
former
of life that I've
former era.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What's our takeaway from the Rams game, Riz?
Number one takeaway: the Rams are really good, and they validated that. And more spinning off that, reacting to that. The Lions aren't as good as the Rams. And this was the first time since the 2022 season, when it turned around and like the last time they lost the consecutive games and everything, where this team looked under-talented compared to the opponent. They've lost games and where they've been outplayed or out-executed. But this game, with all the injuries, especially in the secondary, the Lions just weren't as good of a roster. They were not as good of a team. And that was difficult to process. And I did that as I was in and out on your post-game show with Gray, and and that was sort of the prevailing thought in my head was, we're just not that team anymore. Not this year. And that's a difficult place to be because I did not think that's where we would be.
I'll say, because I took a little bit different. I think that the Rams are beatable by the Lions, just not the team that was on the field on Sunday. And I think if we were to meet them in the playoffs, and we get some guys healthy, we may be able to win that game. I think we could win that game. I think we're strong enough to play with the Rams at any time. And we did. We took a really, really good team who had a great outing and played them pretty tight. I mean, considering
that first half was as good as the Lions can play. And up until the last 30 seconds, when the Rams went down and got that field goal, and on that drive, they figured out, DJ Reed can't run anymore. Let's just keep throwing over his head.
Yeah. Yep.
Amik Robertson, with his hand, he's not going to try to tackle. He's just going to try to punch the ball out. He's going to miss. Like, they found their weakness in that last 30 seconds, and then they rolled with it. And then and the Lions didn't have the personnel or the coaching acumen to stop it. And again, that's what frustrates me so much about this game.
Yep. I'll say that the Lions this year, and I alluded to it in the post-game show, all the talk about, like the Eagles, they really fell off when they didn't have their coordinators. We're going to do that, or when they had two new coordinators. We're in the same boat. Oh, no, we're going to fall off. It's not, I don't think, the coordinators as much as it's almost the same problem in my eyes. The Eagles weren't playing as a team. They were a bunch of really skilled individuals when they had those coordinators. Both of them change. And I don't know if it's, it takes time to coalesce or what it is when you change them both like that. But it feels very, very similar in Detroit this year, that they're not the team that they were. And Campbell's getting a little bit more exasperated every week that the team is not responding in the way that he expects them to. And I don't know, man. It's can they catch fire? I think they can.
Yes. Yes, they can. We
have to see what happens. I think really that Chicago game, if they win these next two games, that Chicago game is going to outline what they do in the playoffs. So we'll talk more about that.
Like that.
Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into quick question. Oh, forgot. It's that time of year. Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Get on over there. Slide that cookie into your, into your browser, and it'll tell Amazon that we sent you. They give us a couple pennies of their profit. Take it away from them. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it's a great way to support the show that you love so much by doing something you were going to do anyway. Amazon.DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Head on over and do all your shopping there. Thank you. All right. What's going on around here, Riz? What's happening? I heard there was some news.
I'm here more. I have a new job, and it's here. And that's awesome. I'm happy.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I have taken on the role of managing editor of the Detroit Lions podcast. You might have noticed that I've produced a couple of written content pieces here already. That's fun. I'm happy to do that.
Love it.
My professional Lions coverage has migrated here. And you will get the DLP Daily. Although you didn't get one today because I knew we were going live tonight and I don't want to be redundant. I also need to do Christmas shopping. You'll have one tomorrow. You'll have one Friday. You probably won't get one Saturday or Sunday. The general consensus is that I will do them Monday through Friday. And then in the off season, probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday is, through the draft. The draft will be just about every day.
Yeah.
And you will get a lot of draft specific videos that are separate from the daily as well. I've already actually got a list going. My general NFL and NFL draft content has also moved. I am no longer with the Wires. I have moved back to Real GM. I am very grateful that they took me back with wide open arms. Thank you to Chris Reyna there and Andrew Perna, the managing. I don't even know what their titles are, but they were there when I was there from 2004 to 2023, and I missed writing it. I missed very much writing the 10 cents. I had actually toyed with the idea of starting a Substack on my own and writing just those there. But the fact that I have the home back where they belong is very special to me, and I'm very grateful for that. And you will have a lot of content coming there, but just not immediately because it's the holiday season, and I'm traveling predetermined travel with family sporting stuff. So
I don't have it. Darn it!
It's a chaotic time.
There's an old drop from years ago. It's in the Case days when I sang "It's the holiday season" and my balls need squeezing. So whoop-de-doo. Big fuck you.
Anyway. So I'm very grateful to Chris. We had been talking about this for a little bit, and the opportunity came forth where the timing is very good for me, and I'm very happy about that. And I'm grateful to Chris for having some faith in there too.
I'm stoked, Riz. I've seen you've built some amazing things in your time. And there's so many things coming together with what Gray's doing, what Bish and Brown are doing, what you're doing now, and what we're doing.
Yeah, none of that's going. Like Gray is still a very integral part of our team. Hopefully, he takes on even more. I love that. Bish and Brown are still here. We are working on a couple of other things beyond that. One of the cool things, and Chris knows this, but I'm going to be able to do those shows live, and I will from time to time. Probably not most of the time. Just because I keep weird hours. But I will also have the ability to have guests, and the guest dailies will be a little bit longer. And I've already got a couple people who are lined up. Have some things in the works with a couple other people that will happily join as sort of reciprocity for me being on their shows, which is great. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm grateful for the response already. The folks of you, the scores of you in the Patreon Slack who've given feedback on it. Thank you. That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
That's right. Mr. JJ Pickle, F it, we'll do it live. That's right. That's how we're doing this. Another question about Dr. Liao. We're talking to Dr. Liao. He's got some stuff going on his own, and we're still talking. We'll see. He's always welcome here. Always. Absolutely. And always has been.
And he and I will be doing we're still working out the finer points of it and the timing on it, but he still definitely has a home here. He is also no longer with the Wires. He has created his own Substack. If you're interested in reading his content, go to his Substack. It's on his Twitter profile. It's good stuff. It's basically what he used to do when we worked together at LionsWire. He's doing it on his own. He can be a little less professional now. Suits him very well.
He's got a great sense of humor, man. He's he's like stealth funny. You know what I mean? And it's awesome to see him. Yeah. Really kind of blossom and do his thing.
He's good. And he's certainly welcome to be on anytime. And, in fact, we chatted back and forth earlier today. So cheers, Jimmy.
We can chat. So Riz has this managing editor title here at at DLP. Written content, daily videos, all the stuff we were doing before and more. And I would expect a little bit more, as they say in the video game world, a little bit of crossplay instead of cosplay. But we'll be talking to each other, having each other on each other's shows, doing things, and just really pouring the content out for you all. This is a really great opportunity. I'm so excited. It's, and I'm going to say this, and I don't say this in a pejorative or an angry way. For a long time, it's been kind of me pushing the cart the whole time. And we've got some really excited folks here that are going to help. And instead of just like one person kind of driving all this. We've got multiple people now pushing stuff and putting it together for all you guys. It's going to be fantastic. I miss Ash a lot. He's stuck in the darkest reaches of Canada with his internet is basically handing a squirrel a note, and it gets run out into the forest to somebody else. So we're trying to get him back, get him connected. I don't know what we can do. We'll figure something out. Maybe I'll buy him a Starlink or something. But we got to get all this back together and get this running. But we have some great people, really excited about what's to come. And as we finish out the season here, go through the draft season and everything else, I think you guys are really, really going to like where we head.
Definitely.
So there you go. I did it. I did the Twitter announcement. Now we've done on the podcast. We're done announcing. We're getting into football. Let's get into it.
Football.
Okay, let's do a tough choice of the playoffs. This is kind of a radio bit because we're going to give a false choice here, but we're going to be upfront about the fact that it's a false choice. There's other things available, but people have asked.
Yeah, I'm hosting on the radio next week, and I'm field testing this out.
There you go. So the alternatives, we're going to give you a tough choice, and we'll watch the chat to see what you guys have, and we'll talk about it a little bit. Really quick before I do, Dr. Liao could easily do stand-up comedy. In my opinion, my wife and I look forward to his piece.
Yes.
Sense of humor.
Yes,
yeah, he absolutely could. He absolutely could.
Please subscribe to his Substack. He's putting a lot of effort into it, and he deserves it. He's good dude.
And leave messages that he should do more stuff over at DLP.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That wouldn't hurt either.
Sorry, Jimmy. I mean, Dr. Liao. Sorry. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the tough choice. Here we go. The false choice, as it were. The Lions make the playoffs, it get blown out early, or they miss the playoffs altogether and get some better draft picks. Risden, I'm going to let you go. I mean, it's your question, so you had to think about it a little bit. What's your choice? Go ahead and hit us in the chat as well, and we'll highlight some things you guys have.
I want to make the playoffs because once you're in it, you can win it. And aside from that, you're going to get some of these young coaches and young players playoff experience. They're going to taste it. Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, they're going to learn what it's like to play in a playoff game. Tyleek Williams is going to learn what the preparation is. Aside from that, much like the college bowls, one of the reasons why you go to whatever they call the Quick Lane Bowl, it's at Ford Field. I used to go every year. I haven't gone a couple of years. You get extra practices with your team. You get more time together. You get more time to learn, structured time, more injury rehab time with your training staff. Not that they don't get that, but it's much more. It's more present. I want that. I want Dan Campbell to coach another playoff game to see if he can motivate, to see if he can manage the clock, which I think a lot of us probably have some questions about recently. What can he do? Can somebody unexpected rise up in the way, like Washington did last year? We knew Jaden Daniels was good. I don't think we knew Mike Sainriston was going to be that good. I don't think we knew that a couple other players on that team were going to be capable of having a career day and lead a team to a playoff win. Maybe Alex Anzalone's legacy in Detroit is that he gets a pick six and we beat the Seahawks that way. Or we beat we would probably be the 7 seed getting in. 2 seed will probably be Philly. Sure, we could be Philly. We were darn close to beating Philly earlier. One or two plays go the other way. Maybe we can get that. I want that. So that's where I'm at with it. I always want to keep playing and get into the postseason. And I say that as the draft guy.
Yeah.
So, where are you at, Chris?
So I'm going to put on a black hat and then kind of give you what I really think, because somebody has to represent the other side here. One of the things that if you do miss the playoffs that you get is the earliest opportunity at the biggest pool of coaches to hire. The longer you're in the playoffs, the less chance you have to get to the guys that you want or that you need.
That's how we got John Morton.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that just keeps me a little bit nervous.
Fair point.
Draft picks are nice, but I mean, frankly, Holmes has been so good at how he drafts. I'm not as
First round
nervous.
anyways.
Yeah, and if we don't draft first overall, somebody's always going to take the person that I wish we had, except in the draft with Hutchinson. When I don't know how I still don't know how that worked, but I love it. I'm just it's one of those things where there's some benefit. The longer term benefit though of the playoffs is big. Getting blown out though in that first game.
Yeah, and let's say
that doesn't help. I don't think the cause.
Let's say you go to Philly and you lose 30-12. That's a rough way to end the season too. But yeah. But at least you made it. Although this spins off into something that I was talking about with somebody at the gym today. We're beyond moral victories in Detroit now. Like 5 years ago, if we would have played that Rams team the way we did and lost by a touchdown after the first half we had, we'd be feeling fantastic about the Detroit Lions right now. We really would.
Yeah.
But now we're all glum and soggy and pissed off a little bit that we're not as good as that. And I kind of like that. I like that hunger. I like that anger. I like the discontent. I have a very good feel that the Lions feel that as well, that it's something like, I won't say that it was a wake-up call for them because they don't need that, but I do think that it's something where they're coming to the realization that, like, we just have to be a little bit better than what we have been, and we have the ability to do it, and we're not doing it, and why? And that goes from the coaching staff to the players to the training staff to everybody in Allen Park.
Man, it's so hard, right? What I think not making the playoffs does, or what the season does for the Lions, is it on one hand you can take it as a negative and you can say this team doesn't know how to win as the favorite. They're always the underdog mindset, and they've done so well as that. They can't handle success. What I think the Lions have learned this year, and it's a tough lesson, but is not to be, sniffing your own farts, breathing your own air, drinking your own Kool-Aid, however you want to say it. You can't do that. You can't. Because the teams that do that always wind up feeling their face plant in the asphalt. This is a year where the Lions learned.
The O'Brien Texans, I saw it firsthand.
The Lions have learned they have experienced a valuable opportunity to learn a lesson. I'll say that. I can't say they've learned the lesson yet. We're not going to be coming in next year as favorites. And let me just put on some rose-colored glasses and say, so next year we come in as underdogs. We play great as underdogs. We win it all. We win the Super Bowl. The year after is when this lesson we'll know whether this lesson has been learned or not. But the Lions have traditionally been terrible when the world has confidence in them, and they've burned writers and sports people every time somebody has said, all right, this team's for real. They have fallen to pieces and fallen apart throughout history. And this is one of the reasons so many commentators have had it really easy dogging on the Lions forever, because the Lions never have been able to support their point. I really hope that in the end that we do make the playoffs, that we win it all, right? We win out and whatever. We do the one I always talk about is the Giants eking in at 9-7 and then winning it all against an unbeaten Patriots team. I would love for us to get hot. You just know you beat Chicago to get in at the end. You're really on a high note at that point, and then you can really march and take that rush to the playoffs. I would love to see that. But this and it's not out of the realm of possibility. But we do have to win the next game in order for that to happen. And
yes,
one game until there's no more games.
I hope there's more than 3. Although this is, no matter what happens, this is our last home game. Unless we somehow win the NFC North, which would require. I actually don't think we can do that. Because that would require us tying the Bears. Green Bay would have to beat them and then lose their last 2, I think.
Yep.
I don't know.
Green Bay beats the Bears, loses their last 2. We beat the Bears. We're first.
Okay. As long as we win out. that's I will say there is one way the Lions could actually be eliminated this weekend if the Bears and Packers tie and the Lions lose to the Steelers. It's over. I wonder what sort of odds you could get on that in Vegas or from your sports book du jour, whichever one you use. That would be one monstrous parlay. It's got to be like the odds of that are like, I don't know. How many games have been on a tie this year? 1. How many games have been played? Like 600. That's pretty long odds.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. If that happens, I'm jumping into Lake Michigan. I'll be right there with you, WMW. Leave a hole in the ice for me.
I will, yeah.
That's a tough one. That is a tough choice because getting blown out and losing in the playoffs is
that's a rough way to. You're going to feel that in the whole season,
yeah.
And you do get a better draft pick. The other thing with it, you also. I hadn't even thought about the coaching point, honestly. But if we are making some coaching changes, and we have one that we do have to make because he's leaving, you do get a better pick of the litter when you're not playing anymore. You can devote more time and resources to interviewing it. Like that's a good point, Chris. That hadn't crossed my mind. So.
This is Risen's professionalism as he takes on these higher roles and these bigger positions. He just segues us right into the coaching moves and what's ahead. Great job, Risen. Just a little golf clap for you here.
I do have an MAB award somewhere. Jim Costa and I won it back in the day.
My aching balls award. Well, love you, Jim. I'm out of the running this year again. Okay, let's talk about let's talk about the coaches. Tyler Roll. What?
Yes.
Huh? Is he going to roll? What's happening?
He is the new offensive coordinator of the Iowa State Cyclones. He was in Detroit for less than a year. In fact, I met him the day after he was hired. And I spent some time with him down in Indianapolis last year. He is a bright young coaching star. I will say I do think he's better suited for the college game than the pro game. I can absolutely see him being a college head coach in the next 5 years. And he's from the upper Midwest. Good move for him. He came from North Dakota State. He was sort of a lifer there. Good, young, aggressive mind. And I wish him nothing but the best. But now we need a new tight ends coach. Again. Great.
Oh God! Well, luckily we don't.
By the way, we also need better tight ends. I owe Brock Wright an apology because I was hard on Brock Wright earlier this year. And dude, I miss you. I really miss you on the field. Nothing against Giovanni Ricci, nothing against Shane Zylstra, but Brock Wright, please get healthy. Come back healthy next year. We need you. Not even getting into Sam Laporta, who his loss has been much more devastating to the offense than I think most people realize. And I think people do realize that he was a pretty important cog. I still think that's being undersold. But the amount of 12 personnel that this team runs, and they don't have any NFL caliber tight ends right now, it's kind of a problem. So they need either their tight ends to get back. They also maybe need another tight end to fill in and for next year. And now we need a tight ends coach. And that'll be the third in 3 years. And that was Ben Johnson's role, was it not, when he first got here?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I just picture you as the Wolverine miss you meme, the picture holding the thing of Tyler.
Yeah. Brock Wright, man. Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know how good you were. I really didn't. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah. Brock the cock, man. He's there. So yeah, tight end coach. Let's talk about other coaches that could be on the on the.
Well, I see it. So
Hi, Mary.
I don't even have my readers on, and I can read this. Was our new D-line coach extremely overrated? The results say yes. Casey Rogers. which was a hiring that I trumpeted and Chris trumpeted, and every person who covers the Lions trumpeted. This is a former high-level, high-results defensive coordinator, and it is not working. And he is Dan's fourth defensive line coach in 5 years.
Yep. We just had a great one, right? I wonder.
Yeah, and unfortunately he left.
I wonder how much of this is talent on the line itself, though, rather than coaching. The only reason, I mean, look, everyone was screaming, who we're going to get across from Hutch, who we're going to get, and AQM's been just fantastic this year. He stood out. He's played. I don't know that he's had a year this productive in the NFL, and I mean that's great. You look at the guys in the middle. I don't know what happened to McNeil after that first play of that first game that he came back. This and now you wonder what's going on with Branch. Like this is ugly, brother. This is ugly. I don't know how much is the coach, because again, Casey Rogers is very highly respected across the league, and I don't want to blame the players. I don't want to blame the coach. I don't want to. Maybe it's a system thing. There's something, and sometimes people just don't fit right in the location they're in. It could be something like that. I don't know, but I was really stoked on having Casey.
I was too, and it's the results just aren't there, and the decline in the run defense. Like you've got Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams. That's a lot invested into Roy Lopez, by the way, has been the best of the group.
Yeah.
He's not chump change either. They've invested a whole lot in being a rock solid run defense and guys who can keep the linebackers clean to go make plays. And they do it sometimes, but it's not consistent. They're not playing to their potential. And that's, again, there's a lot of different things to look at with that. And we will dive into that a lot more as the offseason gets here. But it is something that certainly needs to be self-scouted. And I would say, there's self-scouting is it's not exactly what the term you think it is, because they will actually like have outside people look at it. But they really need to listen to what other voices are saying than what just, because the Dan, Brad, John Dorsey, Chris Spielman group that makes the general football decisions and direction for this, Ray Agnew's in that too. They might need a fresh set of eyes in that room to look at things football wise.
Give them the outside in.
Yes, and that's what has to happen when you have a disappointing season like the one we've had. Now, again, this team can still go win the Super Bowl. I absolutely believe that. I don't think they will, but they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when things don't go the way you expect them to, chronically, the way that the defensive line has not done this year, that is something that requires a much deeper look. And maybe they're too close to it. Maybe they need somebody on the outside to look at it.
I don't think you're wrong. That outside in view is always important. Again, you're smelling your own farts long enough, you start to get. Actually, they say that I saw research that people that smell their own farts are actually more intelligent. But so maybe I need to use a little different analogy. But
I've never even pondered smelling my own fart.
That's the
try to get away.
That's obvious. No, I try to make other people smart with my crop dusting.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Yeah. So that's interesting. Who else is the one thing I'll tell you about coaches that the Lions need to fix in this offseason is don't be afraid to open up the checkbook. It's the one place that there's not a freaking salary cap. Don't nickel and dime these guys. If you want to be successful and you want to win and you want to have the team, you have the players. Brad has been doing a spectacular job at drafting above average, getting you all the things and turning around a freaking Bob Quinn team that was nothing and getting it like minutes away from the friggin' NFC Championship. The players are there. The players are coming. The injuries hurt, but the coaches, you can't be stingy, front office. Get out the check. pay the good guys and get rid of the ones that are take the smaller check and go pay for guys that know what they're doing and then will do a good job. It's silliness. It's silliness the way that some of this has been handled. Terrible.
Yeah. We probably need to have a conversation, and probably longer than we have time for the rest of this show, about John Morton.
Yeah.
And I posited the other day in the Slack, I don't know that he's going to be fired. I don't know that they see that this is as big of a problem image-wise as what it is. And that concerns me. And again, he could wind up being fired the day after their last game, and that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
But I get the sense that they don't want to do that. And I don't want to wish anybody to get fired, but this is clearly not the right role for him. No. Maybe he can become your tight ends coach. Let him save some face that way and go get. I don't think Brian Daboll will want to be the offensive coordinator here. I don't think Mike McDaniel is he's absolutely not a personality fit. Now, maybe I would entertain the argument that you might need to break that protocol a little bit. And
that's fair.
That's something for me to think about. Yeah. But he missed on that one, and Dan did. And some of that was the timing from last year. The fact that Ben didn't leave until after all the other coaching carousel spots had been filled. That hurt.
Yep.
Unquestionably.
Let me ask two things. First,
you gotta go get that, though.
Rick C4 has a budding nephew, soon to be Einstein, who likes to Dutch oven himself, evidently. But Wells Walker had a great question. Is David Shaw an option as the play caller? Plenty of experience calling plays at Stanford, getting the most out of the talent on the team. And as our premier college correspondent, Riz, what do you got for David Shaw?
So I was never a fan of David Shaw when he was at Stanford. I thought he was overhyped. Having said that, he's a ridiculously intelligent man. I've had a couple of conversations with him. I know a lot of people who know him well. The fact that Dan didn't turn to him already tells me he's probably not going to be that in the future, especially because it is very clear, and this is something that I think you're going to see more and more from the Lions beat. Dan knows now he cannot keep calling plays and be the head coach. It's untenable. They know that.
Yep.
The fact that he's still riding that now and has David Shaw on the staff and has Mark Brunell on the staff and has any number of people really who could do it, and he continues to do it even though he knows that it's hurting his head coaching prowess. I kind of think they're going to go outside if they make the change. Or maybe they try to make it work with the personnel. And I really hope not, but I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll see what we get there. We'll keep going on that. All I know is there's coaches. Look, the reason I talked about Casey the way I did is the same thing we know about Hank. Hank has been such a spectacular coach. We've watched him closely over the years, talked to him a couple times, and seen him pull magic out of just a burning fire of injuries over the years. It looks like maybe there's not another rabbit to pull out of that hat this year. And there's a good question about, we'll get to why Frazier wasn't put in for Cologne. But that being said, you have guys like this that are good coaches that aren't having great years for whatever reason. Do you pay them and keep them? Do you let them walk? Where do you sit, Riz? I mean, if you're sitting in Campbell and Holmes's collective chair right now, and you have to make decisions, do you think it's a clean house year, or do you think it's retain your guys and polish what needs to be polished?
There's a lot of value in continuity, especially at the upper levels of the coaching staff. like if Jet Modkins, who's our assistant special teams coach, if he wants to go become a special teams coach, like that's great. Good for you, Jet. Go get it. I don't want Mark Brunell gone. I don't want, I'll be straight. I don't think Hank's had a great year. Doesn't mean I don't want him back. I think he's had better seasons. I think, Marcus Tuiasosopo, who basically took over for JT Barrett, is a very promising young coach. He's a rising star. If he leaves, that hurts. I'd rather keep him. I'd rather pay a little more to maybe move him up to be a passing game coordinator. Scotty Montgomery is the interesting one because he's been here almost the whole time. And it's difficult to ascertain what his impact is on the offense. He's not calling plays either. That sure seems like a natural progression for a guy who he's absolutely being groomed to be a head coach. Like, maybe let him call play. That's a weird one for me, and I don't know what the answer is for any of that. But those are things that we should probably be asking, and more to the point, they need to be asking those questions in Allen Park.
Yeah,
and,
well, I'll tell you this,
amongst themselves, and I hope they are.
If the Packers and Bears tie and we lose this week, next week, go ahead and put Scotty Montgomery out there calling plays. Let's see what we got, because at that point it doesn't matter, right? Let's see what we got. Evaluate this talent so that we make some really, really smart decisions.
Yeah. One quick thing on Tyler leaving as he is still the tight ends coach. He's not leaving until after the season's over.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Let's talk about it. Maybe asking too much of some of these guys is being the run game coordinator too much for Hank. Obviously, asking MCDC to call plays and run the team is too much, at least for us to win the Super Bowl. I don't think so. Hank was the run game coordinator without the title. For a while, he was doing that work, and then Ben was doing all the passing work and putting the plans together. I don't think that's the issue for Hank. I think it's a talent issue, and I think we've kind of neglected positions. We got hosed by Rags and his notification timing and all that kind of stuff. That's why
Zeitler too, for that matter. They definitely thought that Zeitler, if he was going to play, was coming back, and he didn't.
Yeah,
and he was offered. He did not get. He did get more. He did not get much more from Tennessee. Not enough to make a difference.
Interesting. There you go. All right. He didn't know either. Well, we'll see what's going on. More to come in the coaching world, the coaching carousel.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
Sort of teasing the off season, which hopefully doesn't come until, late January. So
it is nice that we're not talking about head coaches and GMs, though. Not this year.
We're not talking about needing a new quarterback. We're not talking about what's going on in Miami, what's going on in Cleveland.
The things we did for the first 6 years of the show, bro. Right? You know what I mean? We were right. I
want to devote a show sometime. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm getting there. I've had more time to do things, and I've been devoting most of that time to draft prep. And I'm very excited to unleash that. But let's go back in time. This offseason, one of the shows, we need to do a roundtable. We'll get Gray, we'll get Brown in on it.
Yeah.
Get Russ in here. How different would life have been had Bob Quinn listened to me and hired Mike Vrabel instead of Matt Patricia? That's a hypothetical game I want to play at some point.
And Vrabel,
I might even get Costa might even join in on that, because he and I we verbal blows on air back on 96.1 back in the day when I suggested that, and he was all about Patricia. He wore that great shirt. He's won Super Bowls. I'm like, yeah, he's not a people person. People get Vrabel. That's for another time. We'll save it.
Yeah. You're right, man. And looking at Vrabel this year, I mean, would we have gotten Tennessee Vrabel, or was that an organizational thing? Or would we have gotten Patriots Vrabel, which is, holy shit, where did that come from? Where did that?
They're good, although they collapsed last week. That was fun. Wow. It was a fun little watch leading into the Lions game.
Yeah. So. All right, let's get to the next topic. We've got one for you. Expectations for the final 3 games. We'll go deeper into the Pittsburgh game next, but we have Pittsburgh, we have Minnesota, and we have Chicago left. First off, let's just talk about the potential of not being even or better in the division, Riz. That is terrifying to me. I don't even remember what that's like. Those were days I've repressed out of my memory.
Right now we are 1-3. That's the best we can do is 500. That's not how you win. That last Green Bay game was, although I will say, and I think most people in the Slack have come to this conclusion too, the Minnesota loss is like the black mark on the season.
Yeah.
Because that's when J.J. McCarthy had literally 2 good drives all year. They were the first 2 drives of that game, and it won them the game. He played better this past weekend. I watched a little bit of that. I'm not worried about J.J. McCarthy. The Vikings, like, they put Jonathan Greenard on IR. They put one of their safeties on IR. They've lost a couple other guys that aren't going to be coming back. They've accepted the fact that they're a 4th-place team, and they're not really in spoiler mode. That's not who they are. They are evaluating whether they want to keep their well, certainly Kevin O'Connell's going to come back as their coach, but they might have a GM problem. So they are evaluating that. So there's a lot of things going on under the hood in Minnesota that lead me to believe that the Lions can beat the ever-living crap out of them on Christmas afternoon.
They need to.
Yeah.
The Lions need to start stacking up convincing wins.
Yeah, and let's not just beat them 20-17 with Jake Bates hitting a 58-yard field goal with 30 seconds to go.
Right.
Let's go out and let's beat them the way we annihilated Jacksonville a couple of years ago, where the game was over in the middle of the second quarter and we just kept rolling anyways because that's what we do.
Yep.
I haven't had one of those in a while. But Chicago week 2 was that way. It's really the only one this year. I want another one of those. And doing it against Minnesota in their building on Christmas. Merry Christmas to every Lions fan. They're going to wear black that day, allegedly. At least the fan club in Minnesota has been advised. They're doing a blackout there. They think that they can take over at least half the stadium. God bless y'all if you do it. That's fantastic.
It's been done. It's been done. The Lions.
That is. I have not been to a football game there. I have been inside that stadium. It is a wonderful venue. Like, it's if you want to get a cheap road trip and your family's up for you going away on Christmas, it's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah,
go watch the Lions blow out the Vikings, because I do think that's the one game that I feel they're not going to lose that one. They're not, Chris. They're not going to lose that one.
They can't. That would be one of the achiest losses. Like, to lose to them twice, the first one really hurt, but to lose to them again is going to be anything.
Yeah,
not making the playoffs. I frankly, it's well deserved, and I'm gonna be in this cope mode. You know, hey, at least we get a draft pick out of the deal. You know what I mean? Think about that. You're gonna have to be in that mode. You know what I mean? As a fan of the team, it's God, I don't want to be in that mode. I think the Lions need to punch the Steelers in the mouth, straight punch them in the mouth. I think they need to just bury the Vikings, and then I don't care if it. I mean, I'd love it to be a blowout, but a close win even in Chicago is the kind of thing that would launch a team. You know what I mean? Would launch them into the playoffs, and to be able to do that would be huge. I would just just be the hot team going in. You catch whoever it is, whether it's Seattle, Los Angeles, Green Bay. It could be probably not going to be the South team, because the team that wins the AFC South or NFC South is probably going to have a worse record than Detroit, since Tampa Bay has fallen off of a cliff. Yeah.
Good Lord. That's another one. And that's one of the reasons why I have enjoyed going back to covering the league as a whole more, because it has opened my eyes more to look and, like, Kansas City's eliminated already. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And Mahomes is out now. So just real quick on the injuries to both Mahomes and Micah Parsons. I believe they had the same injury. They got injured one day earlier than Aleem McNeil did a year ago. Aleem came back October 20th was the day he was activated. That's week 6. Those guys are out until then. And not just out, like, not practicing until then. That's a massive blow. And I will say, we talked about Aleem a little bit earlier. His first game back was fantastic. Since then, he's not been good. No. He's not been good.
I love Aleem. Like, personality-wise, he's such a genuinely cool dude. Like, just...
he's not playing well. And you have to think that it's because of the injury. Next year, I expect him to be much better. I will be bitterly disappointed if he's not. I think he would be too, frankly.
Yeah.
So, that's for those of you who like to talk about windows. The Lions' window is still more open than the Packers, just because of that. Because they don't have first round picks. They went all in, and now he's out for 10 months minimum. Yep. That hurts. And by the way, Christian Watson got hurt. Evan Williams got hurt. It sounds like Evan will be back, but their splits offensively with and without Christian Watson are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a legitimate case to be an MVP candidate as when he's on the field, Jordan Love goes from being like the 12th to 15th best quarterback to being a top 5 quarterback. Like, he really does have that level of impact.
Never would have thought it at Senior Bowl, bro. No. Never would have thought it. Like, I couldn't catch shit.
He couldn't catch. He could open. He couldn't catch. Luke Musgrave, their tight end, was the same way. He can't do it in the NFL either, it turns out. Never forget. It happened right in front of us, Chris. He got wide open in the back of the end zone. They threw him a ball, and it hit his hands, it hit his face mask, it hit his hands again, it hit his knee. He dove for it and missed. I'm like, he dropped the ball 3 times on one freaking play where he was uncovered. No. Sam Laporte is my guy. Or Dalton Kincaid. I would have been perfectly fine with Dalton too.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, last 3 games. Let's hone in a little bit on the Steelers game. Closer look. Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to be against the Lions here. And it's gonna be a real game.
Yes, they are playing for their playoff lives. They are locked with the Ravens to win the AFC North.
Yes,
we've already beaten the Ravens. We can beat the Steelers as well. They're not that great. What you saw them do to Miami the other night had a lot more to do with what's going on in Miami than it did with Pittsburgh. Tua benched. They let Matt Judon go today. By the way, that was something that came up quite a bit mid-afternoon today. I don't think he has interest in going to Detroit because the Lions didn't have any interest at all in him when he was a free agent, and I think he feels that. So that is what it is. And by the way, he hasn't played well. And I say that as somebody who's loved Matt since he was up the street here at GVSU. He's probably done. It sucks. I know somebody posted that he's been like 106th and 111th the last 2 seasons in PFF grades. I don't know exact numbers on that, but just watching what he did in Atlanta, he's not been good. So he's certainly not better than AQM.
Right.
Yeah. I'd rather let Muhammad keep playing.
Yeah.
So
couple
the big thing to watch.
Sorry, just a couple quick comments. Wells Walker, 2262, whatever. Nice to retire Rodgers from another team. Yes, that would be fantastic. I would love to see that happen.
That would be very nice.
And this is a great example of Holmes not being wise, not trading for Micah. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. But I think
Jalen Phillips would have been nice, though.
I would love this. Is a game the Lions really, they've got their work cut out for them. The reason you look at an offensive line in Pittsburgh that is just rock solid, side to side.
They hit on Zach Frazier, man. Our guy Zach Frazier from the Senior Bowl, great player, great young center.
Yep. Boy, I sure wish we would have known that Ragnar wasn't going to fucking be here. Different Frazier. Anyway, that being said, they don't really have a weakness across that offensive line, and even the tight end spot, they're good. weakest player on offense is Adam Thielen, and followed closely by Valdez-Scantling. So if he can keep
a lot of slow guys on the outside, and that by the way, that's key.
Yep.
How do you beat the Lions? You throw over the top. When you don't have wide receivers that can get over the top, that's a problem.
Yep.
X's and O's favor the Lions pretty well in this game. I like the matchup here.
Yeah.
I no disrespect at all to Aaron Rodgers because I thought he played really well the other night. He knows how to take a sack, and that's
in more ways than one.
I have an appreciation for that. The more that I've watched Jared Goff, when he does the throwaways, and there are times where I wish he'd just eat it. Quite frankly, I don't know. Rodgers is still dangerous. DK Metcalf is obviously a beast. They run 12 personnel a lot. They have a 315-pound tight end in Washington who can, if you watched the game the other night, good luck tackling him. He's bigger than your defensive tackles, and he can run. Doesn't do a lot for them, but they've got Pat Freiermuth's good tight end. Like, the thing to watch, TJ Watt. Their training staff collapsed his lung with dry needling.
Fucking crazy, man.
He did not practice today. When I have never experienced a collapsed lung. My brother did have one. My brother is a runner. He's a sleek, lean guy. He did not run for 4 months after that. And again, my brother's not TJ Watt. TJ Watt's a ridiculous physical specimen. My brother's a skinny guy, but like, that's not going to be easy for him to overcome. And without him in there, that makes life a lot easier for Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell and Dan Skipper playing his 15 to 25 snaps as a de facto blocking tight end.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. You can go into more max protect because their defensive backs aren't that good. There's opportunities to attack this team.
Yes.
I won't say that they're not capable of beating us because they absolutely can, but they are much like us. When they play their best, they're really good, but you never know when they're going to play their best, and they don't do it from half to half.
Yep.
Look at what we just came from. That first half against the Rams, fuck, dude, that was great. That was the Lions team we thought we were going to get all year.
Yeah.
Second half, that team doesn't win 6 games.
No, sir.
All
right. Here we go. Wells Walker
Show
again.
up.
He's nailing the comments here. Bottom line, we need to help our DBs with a pressure package like we did versus Baltimore and Lamar. Lots of pressure, lots of sacks, and QB hits. Rodgers can't survey the field. That's always been where Rodgers beats the Lions and most teams is he gets time. Yep. And when he has enough time, he'll eventually pull out the PI. Right? It's amazing how well he is at doing that.
He gets the free play. He'll get one this week. He always does. He's still. Like, I hate it. I freaking hate it. He's so good at it. Like, it's a talent. It really is. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the other guy. Like, they do that well.
So we look at this game. Hodges, I like the fact the Steelers are feeling themselves now. They seem ripe for an unexpected beatdown Sunday. If they were the Lions, I'd be all over that. Hopefully they have the same problem, to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm going to talk about the odds of the game here. Lions are favorites, minus 325 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus 260. Over under is 52, and they're looking for a 7-point favorite for the Lions.
The Lions are 7. I haven't. They're 7-point favorites.
Yeah.
That's a little generous. I think they win by like 6, 7. Sorry, I have a teenage daughter. It's endemic.
I can't believe you just did that. Anyway,
my daughter will watch and be so excited for me. Dad, you're cool again.
No, he's not, hon. Don't think that. This is where are we with the team, and look, the Lions, a win if as long as they carry the spread. I think that's the kind of win they need. If it's a 3-point game or a 4-point game. With a spread and Vegas kind of looking at the money line this way, it doesn't bode well for them powering through the end of the season. They need a statement kind of a game. They need a big statement game against Minnesota, and that's revenge. That is absolutely revenge, and that's the kind of thing that can really fire them up then for the Chicago game. But they definitely need to get the spread covered on this game to make it a convincing win and to get belief back in this team. And I think within the team itself, maybe even in some spaces, that they can actually do this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably something that we should talk more about, is that the players themselves need to believe that they can go out and beat the hell out of the Steelers and the Vikings. I sincerely hope they do, because it's the reality. They absolutely can. But even with all the injuries, and God, we miss Kirby, we miss Branch in the last game.
Yeah,
we miss Brock Wright again, like more than I ever thought we would. But there's the talent is still. This is still a team that's capable of doing great things, Chris, and they're not doing it consistently, and it's frustrating, and it makes it very difficult to predict their games, because they can win this next game by. They can go out and win 40-15. Wouldn't blink an eye. They could also lose 27-20, and it wouldn't. Same thing. Wouldn't blink an eye. I don't know what we're gonna get. That hurts.
That's the most maddening thing about this team. Yeah, the team has been consistent under Campbell, and the wild swings that we've seen out of them this year are just not what I expected out of this team. I thought we had licked this hot and cold, streaky BS and kind of had an identity, but you kind of wonder what the identity of this team is right now. Yeah, I would like them to identify as winners.
That would be great. Yes, that would be great.
All right, what's your prediction, Mr. Riz?
Oh man. I'm going to go, I am a believer. And I will be watching this game on the road. They are 3-1 this year when I have not been home watching games. I think that goes to 4-1. I will be, ironically enough, with a large cadre of Packers fans. My son plays basketball at Michigan Tech. Most of his team is from Wisconsin. We have two games in Florida this weekend. We're going to Florida. I will be on the Space Coast, which will be fun. I already have reserved where I'm going to be to watch this game. And I think they're going to do it. And I think that the Packers fans that are around me are going to root for me too, because I try to have that pull with them. And I think they'll win. Go with no Watt. I'm going to stagger this one. I'm going to contingency it. If TJ Watt plays, the Lions win 29-20. If Watt doesn't play, the Lions win 34-22.
Got it. Okay.
Don't ask me where I come up with those numbers.
I got the Lions 28-17. Still on the under. I usually like to bet the over, but I don't. But I think that's a convincing enough win to push them toward.
Yeah, I think winning by more than one score, I think, is the key.
Yeah.
That the game, there's not the drama at the end of the game. Like, I know the Lions made this last game a one-score game. Did we really feel like it was a one-score game? No, not really.
You said you're here for the weekend, Riz? The Space Coast?
I am.
Friday at 5:46 and Sunday at midnight. So Saturday night, midnight. There's launches from Kennedy Space Center. They're so awesome to watch. I can see them from across the state in my place.
I will be there. Our game Friday is at 7. We're playing at Florida Tech.
There you go.
Which is someplace I've never
They're
been.
really fantastic. It's like watching it is otherworldly. It really is. You think it's a rocket going up. It's pretty wild to see. It is pretty wild to see, even across the state. So I recommend taking a peek.
Text me those times or how you find that, because I want to share that with my
next space flight.
Dad's chat.
Next space flight.
Okay, cool.
I literally could look out my window at the end of the hall and watch the rockets go up. So once I got that, I started getting notified. I'm like, I've got to go look. You see it go. It's pretty wild. It's just especially when people are on board. That's like holy freaking shit, man.
Yeah. We go to Orlando every year for my daughter's volleyball tournament, and this year they had a space launch, and we were going to watch it, and it was raining, so we couldn't see crap, which sucked. Apparently they did launch it too. I guess it wasn't raining over there. So you apparently can't launch in rain. I'm not a rocket scientist. Matt Patricia was.
Yeah. It's not quite brain surgery, but come on. All right. Well, anyway, with all that, Mitchell and Webb, one of the funniest pairs ever. We'll talk about closing things out. Hey, just check us out on the Patreon. And as I don't think people know, especially with Riz coming over, the people who perform and create content on the show all get a chunk of the Patreon. So it's kind of a collective way, sort of an NFL rules way of getting our folks paid. But it works, and it's not the only way they get paid. Just so you know, don't worry about it. But the Patreon's a big piece for them, and that's how they get a little bit of skin in the game. So hit the patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. If you do $5 or more a month, you'll get access to the Slack chat, and in the Slack chat you're going to have all the fun, especially during game time. But you get to talk to Riz, you get to talk to me, Bish, Brown, Gray, all the guys there all the time, active, having fun. Definitely worth it. And it's again a way to support these guys. Riz coming over and putting it all on the line here, putting it all into DLP is we're honored and happy to have him. Help make it worthwhile for him.
Yeah. And just on that front, I'm going to be much more responsive to you if I see you in the Slack asking a question than I am if you bug me on Blue Sky or Twitter. That's just the nature of things, because I'll know you're a real person.
There you go. Best of luck on that, Rick C4. Best of luck, man. Let's see what else do we have going on. Oh yeah, follow us on the Twitter machine at Jeff Risdon, and at DET Lions Podcast. Like I said, there's a ton of content coming out. It all comes through that account, DET Lions Podcast. Riz will tweet stuff. Gray will as well. Everybody does their thing, but go ahead and give a follow so that you know what's going on.
I learned how to do that today, Chris. I'm proud of myself. I am not a technically savvy person, which drives Chris crazy, but I'm getting better.
It's not. Yes, Wells, he has retired. There will no longer. It's not worth your while anymore to go to Lions Wire. To be honest with you,
that is certainly correct. After who they've hired to replace me.
So head on over to DLP. You get to see the wonderful writings of Jeff Risdon there, and all the videos that he's putting together, as well as the rest of the crew. A lot coming, a lot of really, really great stuff. Go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. See the wonderful work of the Riz. Subscribe to the podcast so you see all the stuff that's going in. Hit our YouTube. Subscribe on the YouTube, like Mary did. And you get all the great content flowing right into your veins the way you like, automagically. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, no problems. But we do have Jeff Risdon, because we're your Detroit Lions and Reddit Connection. Riz, love you, brother. We'll talk to you soon again.
Merry Christmas, y'all.